when I married Hind. Boom. Her mother spoke to me with a voice laced with seriousness and fear. Never anger her or make her sad for any reason. She's not like other girls. Of course, I took this as the typical warning any mother gives to her daughter as husband and didn't think much of it. We lived an ordinary married life for 3 years until that cursed night. The argument between Hind and me began as something trivial, but it quickly escalated into a heated fight. In the end, I stormed out, in anger without apologizing. I had no idea that moment would mark the beginning of a series of strange events that would change my life forever. The next day, I began to notice odd behaviors in Hind. When I returned home in the evening, I found her sitting in the kitchen corner, staring blankly at the ceiling. I noticed for the first time that her long black hair now reached below her knees and shimmered unnaturally in the dim light. I tried speaking to her, but she didn't respond. She just kept staring, as if seeing something invisible to me. As the days passed, her behavior grew stranger. Sometimes she would stare at me with an eerie look, as though she knew something terrifying about me. Or other times, I'd leave her in the living room and go to the bathroom, only to turn around and find her suddenly behind me, silently watching with that same unsettling gaze. Things reached their peak one night when I woke up around 2 a.m. from thirst. As I entered the kitchen for a drink, I was paralyzed by a terrifying sight. Hind was on the wall, crouching on all fours like a spider, staring at me with that same blank, horrifying look. I felt like I was in a nightmare, but the pain in my chest confirmed I was very much awake, but I couldn't take it anymore. Bed trembling, and as I passed by her still staring at me, I grabbed my phone with shaking hands and called her mother. When I told her what was happening, she interrupted me and said, "Didn't I tell you never to upset her?" I stammered, "How do you know what's happening between us?" She replied in a quiet, chilling voice, "Your wife has been with me for the past 2 days. Why didn't you go to make peace with her?" I froze, unable to comprehend what I had just heard. If Hind was with her mother, then who was this in my house? I looked over to where Hind was now standing in the middle of the room and remembered the warning. Her face began to change, slowly, taking on a demonic expression. I realized then that I was facing a force beyond explanation. Slowly, she began walking toward me, her wide eyes gleamed with madness, and her long hair moved as if it had a life of its own. I tried to step back, but my legs wouldn't respond. I felt rooted in place, and with every step she took, the air around me grew heavier, like she was draining the life from the room. When she reached me, she stopped suddenly. She touched my face with her high-skulled hand and spoke in a voice that was somnolently hers. "I warned you." A freezing chill swept through my body, and I collapsed unconscious. When I awoke, I was in a hospital room, surrounded by doctors and nurses, trying to revive me. They told me I had been in a coma for several days, and they found me alone in my house. Later, I learned that Hind's mother had visited and told them I was under intense psychological stress. But I couldn't shake the feeling that what I experienced wasn't just a hallucination. I left Hind after that and never returned to the house where those horrifying events took place. People say I lost my mind, but I know the truth. There are things in this world that can be explained, old spirits that haunt places and punish those who ignore their warnings. I learned my lesson well, and I will never forget it.